with the heat and the humidity, I pay my humble obeisances to you all. My also gratitude and humble obeisances to all our senior devotees in the room. When we came to Africa, Sankita Priya Prabhu dropped it on us that we will be doing classes. And, it was a bit of a surprise, really. We didn't know that we were going to do classes. We didn't realize. And Sankita Priya Prabhu said, oh, you'll be all okay, don't worry. There's only 10, 11 people every time. Don't worry, it's just us. It's just us. So what I've learned about Krishna and his devotees is that they're very tricky. All right, and our dear His Grace Sankita Priya Prabhu is also very tricky. So Sankita Priya Prabhu ki jai. Okay, so we will be reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, verse 62. Please repeat after me. Thank you. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param santim Shtanam prapsyasi shashvatam Tameva sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param santim Shtanam prapyasi shashvatam Tameva sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param santim Sthanam prapsyashi shashvatam. Prabhus, please. Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapsyashi shashvatam. Tamevam sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapsyashi shashvatam. Tamevam sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapyasi shashvatam. Mataji. Nam sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapsyashi shashvatam. Tameva sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapsyashi shashvatam. Pravevam sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapsyashi shashvatam. Okay, we'll go word by word. Tam, unto him. Eva, certainly. Sharanam gaccha, surrender. Sarvabhavena, in all respects. Bharata, O son of Bharata. Tat prasadat, by his grace. Param, transcendental. Shantim, peace. Sthanam, the abode. Prapsyashi, you will get. Shashvatam, eternal. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ocean of Bharata, surrender unto Him utterly. By His grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Purport. A living entity should therefore surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, and that will relieve him from all kinds of miseries of this material existence. By such surrender, not only will one be released from all miseries in this life, but at the end, he will reach Supreme God. The transcendental world is described in the Vedic literature, Rigveda 1.22.20, as Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam, since all of creation is the kingdom of God. Everything material is actually spiritual, but Paramam Padam specifically refers to the eternal abode, which is called spiritual sky or Vaikuntha. In the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sanishvishta. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart. So this recommendation that one should surrender unto the Supersoul sitting within means that one should surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna has already been accepted by Arjuna as the Supreme. He was accepted in the 10th chapter as Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. Arjuna has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the supreme abode of all living entities, not only because of his personal experience, but also because of the evidence of great authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasasa. Om Agnanintimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshirunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashyatadeshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the translation again, one more time. Ocean of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. So, I thought to welcome the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation. As the purport is quite self-explanatory, I thought it might be a good idea for me to give a summary of the chapter, as many of us, including myself, have missed quite a bit of the context of the verses. So with your permission, let's talk about the summary of the actual chapter 18. Hopefully it'll help all of us and myself to understand more of the context before we get to 1862. So there are very few shlokas left of this chapter, this beautiful Amalapuran. And so I thought it would be really good to just focus on the whole chapter as a whole. So in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, the first 55 shlokas of this chapter discuss or show us the Krishna's summary descriptions of what he has taught us in the Bhagavad Gita. In the initial 12 shlokas, Krishna describes the Karma Yoga again, so working with detachment. Then later, the next verses, 13 to 17, Krishna spoke the 5 actors of action, which are specifically considered when a Karma Yogi gives up his doership mentality, so when they know that they're not the doer. Then later on, we see from verses 18 to 48, quite elaborately, how different the modes control the activity of people in this world. And His Grace Rupanuga Prabhu, His Grace Prema Pradeep Prabhu, they both touched upon the basis on these subjects, very briefly. Also, how this karma karta, buddhi, dharti, all these aspects in the material world are influenced by 3 material modes. Then Krishna speaks about Varnashram, so our prescribed duties of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. Krishna also emphasizes on the importance of sticking to a prescribed duty which actually suits you and not adopt that, opposed to adopting someone else's duty. So up to Shloka 48, actually Krishna is speaking. He does all the speaking. And then all these 48 shlokas are still under the realm of doing one's prescribed duty without attachment to not re-incur any reaction. So, working with the spirit of renunciation, which is karma yoga, we must try to aspire to become mature in such reactions free of work. Once we become mature, we develop knowledge, and then it's possible to actually give up work. So what I mean by give up work is, so we must start to give up work and operate on the platform of knowledge. And only then you can come to the stage of realization, Brahman realization. So I've got a question for you all. We've got to ask ourselves, what's the question? What is the platform? Who thinks, does anyone know what the platform is that we need to get onto? Just very informal, so just put your hands up and let me know.
Spiritual platform.
Oh yeah, very good. Yeah, exactly. It's a spiritual platform. So the platform is the connection of ourselves to the Supreme Lord, a knowledge about matter and spirit. So the spirit soul and the spiritual Lord and the connection between them. So when we start acting on the spiritual platform in our eternal relationships with the Lord, then Gnana Yoga is transformed into Bhakti Yoga. So Gnana Yoga consists of knowledge and detachment. Karma Yoga consists of working with ourselves whilst we cultivate knowledge and detachment. Gnana Yoga also means giving up work and taking up full renunciation and becoming mature in our renunciation and knowledge. But like I said, that maturity in knowledge of the Supreme Lord and our relationship with Supreme Lord brings us to the stage of Bhakti Yoga. And only on this platform of Bhakti Yoga, we act as a spirit soul, as part of and parcel of Lord Krishna. And in that way, we come in front of the Lord in that way. So we still perform our activities. We all have to still make shakrotli and wash our clothes, maybe not in this country, but in the UK. So we have to still carry out our prescribed duties, but we do them all for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. Then, from verse 56 onwards, it describes pure bhakti. So a devotee of Krishna can perform all kinds of activities, always under the protection of Krishna, the Vyapa Ashraya. You offer all your activities onto Krishna, Jetasa, by your mind, and make Krishna the goal of your life. So you may ask the question, but how? So by applying your intelligence, buddhi yoga, in the process of devotional service. Always be conscious of Krishna, Madchittaha. It is therefore really important to follow the footsteps of your guru, of a guru, spiritual master. This can be in the form of a Siksha guru or a Diksha guru, and be close to such personalities as they are the ones that are needed in your life to guide you or to guide us. Then His Grace Rupanuga Prabhu spoke about verse 59. If we don't act accordingly to Krishna's directions, then we will be falsely directed. So I have a question for you all. Why do you think we may not act according to Krishna's directions? What could be the reason? Yes, Mataji, Neela Mataji. Okay, we want to enjoy ourselves. Yeah? Anything else? Attachment with the material things. Yeah, good. Anything else? Influence of the three modes of nature. Yeah, very good. Thank you all. You're all very right. We don't act in this way. We don't listen to Krishna. We don't take his directions. This is due to our ego, so our ahankar. And then His Grace Prema Pradeep Prabhu mentioned how one has to work according to their nature, and that too has to be something that comes very naturally to you. So if it suits you, then you shouldn't give it up. Keep continuing, because most of us are working in jobs that don't suit us, but simply because it gives us a good salary. Okay, let's be honest. When we voluntarily act according to Krishna's directions, it keeps us safe, really safe in all situations, because no one can really ascertain our destiny like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, coming to verse 61 and 62, thank you for being patient. Arjuna still has some false conception of thinking he knows everything, and because of his inability to give up, Krishna teaches him in a very different manner, in a very different way. Not only Arjuna, but also teaching us in a very different way. So after this beautiful ancient scripture of the Bhagavad Gita, it should really be the life guide instruction manual for us, just like we have a manual for a washing machine, a manual to how to operate your phone. We should also have this manual for our lives. So Krishna was telling Arjuna that he stays in the heart of all living entities. And here in verse 61, the super soul is described. So the day before, Prabhu described the super soul and described that as Paramatma. So now in verse 62, Tam eva sharanam gaccha. So basically surrender onto that super soul that's dwelling in your heart. Sarva bhavena bharata, with all your mind you surrender onto him. Tat prasadat param santim. By his mercy we will attain transcendental peace, param shanti. Shtanam prapsyasi shashvatam, and you will always attain a position in the spiritual abode which is eternal. So surrender to the supreme super soul. The purpose of knowledge means to surrender onto Krishna. We know that now, right? We all get that. Everything Krishna has spoken about until now is to bring us onto the platform and ultimately to bring us to a point that we then surrender to the Lord. His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Kesha Maharaj gives us the sutra, try to be happy. Everyone wants to be happy in this world, right? Everyone wants to be happy. Is that right? Do you agree? Nobody says, I want to be sad. Nobody says that, does they? So everyone wants to be happy. But the material world teaches us to be happy, but the spirituality teaches us to serve. Because when we serve, we do bhakti devotional service, and that will happen and then we become happy. Most of us understand happiness as health and time plus wealth, right? When we're children, we have all of our health, we have all of the time, but we don't have Lakshmi. We don't have money. I was really skint when I was young. We have adulthood, and when we have adulthood, we have our health and we have wealth. But then, time nathi. Koi paase time nathi. We don't have time. And then when we're older, we have all the time and we have all the wealth. Paisa, sonu, bangri, everything. We have everything. But then we don't have our health. So the short message from Keshe Maharaj is don't be too illusioned by the delusion. If you take the fish out of the water and you give them everything in the whole universe, it still will be really unhappy. Why? Because it needs to go back to its original position, which is the water. So similarly, Krishna tells us, forget this equation of being happiness through health and time and wealth. Create the equation, which is happiness, which equals devotional service, which is bhakti. So you can do bhakti through your routine life, which I'm sure many of you are doing, we all are doing. So through work, your family, your social circles, your daily tasks. Plus, you can also do bhakti in extra time. So chanting, not just the 16 rounds, but a little bit extra perhaps, a little bit of worshipping, a little bit extra of reading, serving, associating. So here at the temple, I've been observing and I've been looking around, and there's a lot of service, there's a lot of association that's needed here, a lot of worshipping. So get involved, serve, speak to the senior devotees. I think they're very easily approachable. And get involved. Even in the UK, if you're close to a temple, the Soho or Bhaktivedanta Manor, we have many centres also across the UK. So get involved, see how you can serve. Make the association, join a sangha, locally or internationally. But when you grow with an association, when you connect, then you start associating with like-minded people. And then slowly, you'll see the transformation taking place in your hearts, not just through your mind, but in your hearts. And these amazing devotees, speaking from a personal experience, I think they're very able to take us to Krishna. I don't think that's speculation. They do take us to Krishna. So when we are in association of devotees and we discuss Krishna, then you all know what happens, right? Krishna comes. Krishna comes. He likes being around us when we talk about Krishna. When we talk about mundane things, he runs away. So let's try and speak about Krishna, always be associated with Krishna Katha, Krishna association, like-minded people, and then Krishna's always next to us. Here also we have the Bamburi and Nyali beaches. The ocean is here. For some people, they will just dip their feet in, and some of us did that the other day. We just dipped our feet in. The others will jump in and swim, and some, none of us did this, I don't think, but some will probably want to dive and go deep. So we have to go deep. We have to go really deep into our scriptures to get the jewels. And we have to move away from this realistic worshipping culture or casual practitioner of the spirituality, and move away from also just visiting the temple. I used to just visit the Bhaktivedanta Manor. I used to finish work, and then I used to come in my work outfit, come to the temple, go Arati, then Bhagavatam class, have prasadam, go home. That was my routine, and I loved it. And then one day I was receiving a leaflet about Control Alt Retreat with all these youngsters, kids, and I attended a retreat, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It was one Sunday, and I was like, I'll go, let me check it out. What's this all about? And London's not my hometown originally. I'm from a small city called Leicester. And so I had a lot of association with Gujarati people, Indian people, just generally connected to Krishna. When I came to London over 20 years ago, I was looking for that and I didn't find it. But when I came to Krishna consciousness, when I came to ISKCON temple, Hare Krishna temple, we used to call it, I still call it that. I came to this retreat and I was just absolutely amazed how many youngsters were attracted, or how many youngsters were there. And I had visited many temples in London to become associated. I went to a Jalaram Mandir, I went to a Sanatan Mandir, I went to so many different temples. And because I was looking for that young, like minded connection to be part of a group that I could really grow with and make like minded friends. But I only found it at ISKCON. I didn't find it anywhere else. So I can highly recommend to you, stay connected. Even if their Matajis and Prabhus are older and you're young, stay connected. They have a lot of knowledge and they're able to give it to you. And really stay in association with them, because we need a combination. We need a combination of youngsters, people at the same level as us, and people higher than us. So it means we have to come out of our comfort zones. So it's good to be in our comfort zones, but then like Sankit and Priya Prabhu has pushed us to do classes, you also have to push yourselves to, or we have to push ourselves to that next platform. So I end the class here today with a question for you all to think about, meditate, even myself, is how deep do we want to really go into our spiritual journey? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. So I'll open the floor out to any questions if anybody has any, and I'll try my best to answer them. Otherwise, I will be falling onto my spiritual senior devotees here and association for support and um, love and care and compassion. Hare Krishna. Do we have a mic? Do we have a mic? Please? Thank you. It's okay, they can't hear it.
Why don't encourage me for all of you giving class now? You're actually in the right place, in the right time, doing the right thing. Because I'll give you the verse of 168. What we should do about giving to us and talking about it. I'll just in the translation. It says, one who explains the things to the devotees.
Actually, people can't hear you. I'm just getting people nodding, they can't hear you. But let's just wait, Prabhu.
Sorry, but I need to have the mic. It's the wrong mic.
Prabhu, I can give you this. Yeah, it's good.
When I was hearing some of the members in class, they asked me how they can actually encourage. And I think that the best way they can encourage is this verse, text 60, which says, "For one who explains the secret, the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed." So Mataji, those are Krishna's words, not mine. And at the end, it will come back to them. So that should be encouraging enough for all of the people who are actually planning to do classes. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Rupanuga Prabhu? Rupanuga Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Very nice presentation. Nice. It's interesting to note that Krishna, in this verse, is asking Arjuna to surrender unto the Supreme Personality, to surrender unto the Supreme. That's when the man within his heart. So it's complex that Krishna asks Arjuna to surrender to the Supreme Lord as Paramatma. And it may and these people to think that actually Krishna is not God. Krishna is asking to Arjuna to surrender to God as Vishnu. So what is your
Can you just repeat the last bit again? Sorry.
Krishna
Yeah.
is asking Arjuna to surrender unto the Supreme Lord with his heart, which is Vishnu. So it seems to be like it could be like a confusion to some people reading like that. And so I think that Krishna actually is not the Supreme Person of Godhead, but Vishnu is. Because Krishna himself asking Arjuna to surrender unto the Supreme Lord with his heart.
Okay. Can I ask Sankita Prabhu to answer? Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry. Yes, please. Anand Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So like we know very famous words, Jai Krishna Bhajan Sai Guru Chatur. A person who is worship Krishna is very clever. So Lord is tricking in Bhagavad Gita. Tricking, you want to surrender to me or you want to surrender to Paramatma? Yeah, Vishnu. This is the trick. So if somebody intelligent, they can choose because many places Lord has mentioned. Nobody is above me, nobody is equal to me. So means person has to decide whom he has to surrender fully. To Paramatma, to me. So Jai Krishna Bhajan Sai Guru Chatur. The person who is reading and getting the proper bona fide way instruction, they will surrender to Krishna, not to Paramatma. Hare Krishna. Is it okay, bro?
Gita Mataji has a question.
नहीं
Should I hold it for you? You can sign
ये
it.
वशी प्रभु के क्या और उधर कबाड़ में
No,
उल्टा हो गया सब
Oh, because of the.
पुलिस ने I don't know where it is.
I'll hold-
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for your wonderful class. So I'm profoundly deaf. So I'm profoundly deaf. And it's difficult to go deep. You mentioned in class how deep you want to go. I can read, no, because English is my second language, so I won't be able to understand 100% when I listen to some Proverbs book. So my question is, would be enough if I do the effort until my meditation? Because I find it difficult, and I don't have all this help. People won't always help me. I need to understand English. So would be that enough in these circumstances?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for your question. Srila Prabhupada is very beautiful. He's also translated it into many languages. So the scriptures are also available in Hindi, Punjabi. I don't know if you're able to read these languages. Punjabi, yeah. So we have it also in Punjabi. So if you need a copy, then please connect with myself or Bhupendra Prabhu or Sankita Prabhu, and we can get you a copy in Punjabi.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Question?
So Dayabaranga is asking, okay, this is good, you have a Punjabi copy. Coming back to my reading skills, which I able to understand at certain level. So will be that enough, or as you said, you need a copy in a different language?
I think when you're in that position or that situation, then your most important process is going to be association. So connect with association. You're very blessed and lucky to have His Grace Dayal Guranga Prabhu with you, who's very apt with knowledge, also through sign language. So stay connected. Association is very strong, and it'll take you there. Any ladies? Any questions from the Matajis? My beautiful Matajis, please support it. Anybody got any questions? Don't be shy. Huh? Krishna.
So, thank you for such a wonderful summarization of chapter 18. So, from what I have got from what you said, is that there is a yoga ladder, in the sense that you start with karma yoga, in which you perform activities that offer up to Krishna. Then what happens is you go up to jnana yoga, where you get, by doing karma yoga, you get purification, and in that purification you get knowledge, and then you start doing jnana yoga. So, from what I understood, what you said was, correct me if I'm wrong, is in jnana yoga, you start getting knowledge and you start stop doing activities. Is it this stop doing activities or stop doing activities of yourself? Because then higher than that is not yoga, where again we are starting to do activities. So it's like karma yoga, you're doing activities, jnana yoga is your cessation of activities, and then again bhakti yoga, you're doing activities. So if you please try and clarify that for me.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, Gnan Yoga consists of knowledge and detachment, right? And it also means working and giving up. But when we say giving up, it doesn't mean giving up your prescribed duties. It means you still continue doing your prescribed duties. But now you've got knowledge, now you've gone deeper, your desires are less, and you've got a higher taste. So now you're able to clear up that space in your mind and focus on the higher purpose. So it's not that you have to stop looking after your wife and your mum and everyone else. You still do that, that's your prescribed duty. But you can also, once you've done that, you detach from that and you focus on your soul with the super soul and you connect. So really it's about understanding and having more higher knowledge and getting more of a bigger, higher taste. So when you start having more knowledge, you'll get more ruchi, more taste. And as you get more taste, you'll go deeper. But my senior devotees, please add if you need any more. Lavanga Prabhu, don't be shy.
Oh, somebody asked a question. The mic is working. We just tested.
Haribo.
Are you satisfied with the answer?
Prabhu, please, do you want to add?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, please add. Give it to
Give
him.
it a try.
So your question was there, in the karma yoga there is action, and there is bhakti yoga there is action, but in jnana yoga there is no action. Yeah? So means in the jnana yoga, then after that again going in action, how it is, yeah? Yeah? So this answer is already given in Bhagavad Gita in same chapter. Brahma Bhut Prasanna Atma no sochati na kanchati sama sarvesu bhutesu mad bhakte labde param. First, you are materially attached, you want to do the action, but that action to be connected with Krishna. That is, you are connected, you want to do something, right? You want to eat, you want to work, you want to make money, you want to do whatever. You want to do, but that has to be done for Krishna. That is called Karma Yoga. But in the Jnana Yoga, you don't want to do something. That is like Mataji is saying, detachment, renunciation. But same time you are not attached with Krishna. You are not attached. That is Brahma Bhut Prasanna. Means you are attached with material thing but not attached with the spiritual thing. So that is renounced. You are renounced. So in that sense, you are not doing any karma, any action. You are just neutral position. After that, the bhakti yoga started. When you are connected again, renouncing material thing, not doing anything, don't want anything material, but you want spiritual. So then again action comes, that action is called transcendental action. That is bhakti yoga. It is beyond this material thing. So anything is connected, done for the pleasure of the Lord, that is called transcendental, that is pure devotional service. Bhakti yoga is not on material platform. Bhakti yoga is on the spiritual platform.
And if you read from verse 56 onwards, it talks deeply about pure bhakti. So if there's no more questions, then we'll finish here. Oh, give the Mataji. Yeah.
I can use the mic. Hello. Thank you, Mataji. You mentioned our association is very important and I'm very privileged to have a dialogue association. My question is, it's very tricky. It goes out for, actually, this is a what I'm going to say. Okay, I have been associated sometimes go for spiritual retreat, sometimes go to India. Who's going to help me? You help me.
Sorry, say that again?
Very fast.
Some association with?
So you say in the class, I'm very privileged to have diagram association and I should keep in constantly to improve my spiritual life. Now, it's very cheeky now. Diagram is this is very cheeky. You say, diagram has go away for spiritual retreats, India, so I don't have him all the time. So in that case, will you help me?
I can serve you, Mataji. You just take me.
He's very naughty. He's fly away different countries. He's not always there. So he's embarrassed. Yeah, that's the thing. I know always is available. Yes. Thank you very much. I love you.
But also, when the young Garanga Prabhu is traveling and you're not able to make it, use that time to read, go deeper, reflect on what he has taught you. So it's not just about continuing all the time. It's actually okay to pause, stop, reflect, journal, write it down, read, reflect. Have you transformed? Have you made a change? Chant. When we chant, our mind gets calmer, our heartbeat becomes relaxed, our lungs open up. I'm going to get all medical now, but all our lungs open up, our oxygen rates in our hearts go higher. So when Prabhu's traveling, let him travel. That's okay. You have the space to reflect, write, chant more, and when he's back, you will have a list of questions for him, for you to fire at him, because he's now been nourished. So now he's also going to be able to share more reflections with you.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. We'll end the class on that. Hare Krishna. Shri Grantha Rav Bhagavad Gita ki. Jai. Hare Krishna to you all. Thank you.